Yeah, this is a game you mark your calendar for. Since that I've marked my calendar for since the championships. It's always good to play them. Play Portsmouth. They have a lot of talented guys on the field. Their coach always comes out with a good strategy, and we had a very tight game regular season with them, and then championship is always good too. So they always come ready to battle and never give up at the end of the game.
The second week, it's not that early. I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see what Portsmouth shows. Will they play zone? Will they play man? What will they, how will they utilize their personnel? What kind of cards do we tip early in the season, right? And I think it means a lot for both teams. It's a very similar to a BG Pickerton feel, just because of the finals the last 2 years, and arguably in 2016 we expected them to play in the finals when we played Hollis. They got upset in the semifinals. It could be a 3 straight year championship, match between the three of us, and I think a lot of people are expecting that it could happen again this year. But as we talked about with the unbalanced schedule, it may not. So we're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a night game under the lights. I think we're going to have a great crowd here.
Oh, I'm super excited. I love games like this. We don't usually get games like this. Usually, very high-scoring games for us. I feel like this is going to be another test, another early season test, which I'm really looking forward to. They're a great team, and I feel like we'll match up very well against them.
This will probably be, I know that the seniors and I are all really excited for it, but in my opinion, this will probably be the greatest game or the most exciting game I've gotten to play. That's what I'm hoping, that's what I'm anticipating, and as long as Portsmouth keeps up their end of the budget or the ball and does a good job, I think it'll be an awesome game.
Yeah, Friday's a big one. Under the lights, Portsmouth, it's going to be a huge one. They have great players, great attack, amazing face-off guy, but I think if we do what we've been doing so successfully these past three games, we'll be able to lock it down and kind of finish off the first 2 weeks very well.
We go to a school where people take their academics super seriously, so when you get an opportunity for a Friday game, you don't have a test, a quiz, a lot of homework that's due the next day. It gives you a little free time on a Friday. I know the girls are playing before us, so hopefully a lot of them will stay, get a good crowd. So it's always fun to play under the lights here in front of the school.
I think you're going to see it comes down to athletes making plays. I don't think it's going to come down to a lot of settled 6-on-6. I think it's going to be as similar to the game last year when we played at Portsmouth. I think it's going to be broken plays. I think it's going to be effort. I think it's going to be ground balls between the lines. How well do we play Cole Brahms on the face-off circle? Those little things there are all going to add up, and I think the team that, hate to be cliche, but the team that gives the best effort is going to win that game. Because both teams are pretty equal. They've got some very good skill players, and so do we.
I was pumped up. We did something cool where we wanted to get an American flag. We put it on a lacrosse shaft, and we ran out with that during our lap when we got on the turf. So that was a lot of fun, and it was just the boys were just loving that and loving the energy going along. So I think that really helped us out the first half, and it was a fun game.
Kind of have to treat it like it's any other game, even though it is arguably the biggest game of our season when we play Portsmouth. You can't treat it like it's any differently, otherwise the younger guys will get all nervous and they won't perform the way that they should, and small things will fall through the cracks like that. So you just got to treat it like it's a normal day. That's kind of how Het told us to go about it.
kind of wanted to stay focused on the game, and everything else was kind of just a blur but the game. So it was pretty important for us to stay focused.
It was a great experience for all the guys. There was a really good turnout from the school, the faculty, friends from other schools, and there was a bunch of Girton guys there watching the game. So I don't know, those games are a little bit of a they give us a little experience with what like more of like a playoff game will be like, which is good to have early season. Those games are always fun to play in. Having the people that you go to school with like kind of see all your hard work that you put in every day after school and in the preseason. So it's always good to have a game like that.
Definitely had a lot of adrenaline going. Love playing against Portsmouth. Love playing against Cole Brahms. Always gives us a good game. I feel like definitely not intimidated by the crowd because we've definitely played with crowds like that before, but it's huge to always get a crowd like that. I feel like everybody was all hyped up. We were all ready, and we were ready to face a great challenge in Portsmouth.
Yeah, I mean, I felt all day long, I felt pretty confident. The kids were pretty dialed in. They were excited about the game. Watching us warm up was probably the best warm up we've had in a long time. Guys were shooting really well. We were really focused on what we needed to do. We kind of wanted to do that on purpose. Like it felt like a playoff atmosphere. It felt like one of those games that you might see in June, late May, early June. So that was kind of why we wanted to do it, to simulate that atmosphere. The game was originally supposed to be a 4 o'clock game. We said, you know what, Friday night under the lights, we get a good chance to get a good crowd here. It could be a lot of fun. It was. I mean, the energy from the crowd was great. Portsmouth brought a great crowd out. Reporters from the Seacoast came out.
Honestly, like I know my defense inside out, but the offense, I don't know what they were doing right that first half. But whatever they were doing it. I think that just we were aggressive and we were attacking them, and we just after they gave us an inch, so we kept taking a mile. And we did this over and over again. But then once the dust settled at halftime, I think the guys kind of when they came back and scored one real quick, it kind of reset things to, all right, we're slow it down.
Guys came out and played with energy. They knew where they were supposed to be. They were executing plays. They were playing well as a team. We were getting in defensively and communicating really well. We were clearing the ball and riding really well. We knew that the face-off circle was going to be a struggle, but we came in with the game plan of saying, you know what, let's just not let it beat us, right? We know we have a good defense. Let's not give up anything in particular. Let's not give up any fast breaks or transitions, things like that. We did that. We executed that so well in the first half, helped us to get out to that lead. And, it's kind of been a trademark of this team this year, is coming out with energy, enthusiasm. getting a good lead, and then kind of relying on our defense to carry us home in the early part of the season. I think that's something that we're going to continue to build on as we get in better shape, as we get more guys comfortable with playing. We'll be able to play a deeper bench, and I think it's going to pay off in the end, especially if we can come out and play with that intensity the way we did in the first half.
I watched overall the defensive film, and I think we were playing really well and not really giving them anything. So I think that worked. And then in the fourth quarter, I think we were able to tighten some things up in the last couple minutes. But I think the first quarter the first half we were all just flowing and working really well together.
The offense was really cooking. They were able to punch a few in, but for us on defense, especially, just communicating, working together and working on ball and off ball together, and talking throughout picks and kind of knowing what they wanted to do, where they wanted to invert or kind of dodge with their best player, and we kind of all just talked through that on defense. But push and transition was definitely a big part for us, being able to help out, me and Max being able to help out that lead. But as a team, I think just staying focused and not really worrying about the crowd, even though it was nice to have, but focusing on the game and what we could do to kind of increase that score.
We play a ton of 6-on-6 in practice, so with all that experience in practice, we play against probably the best competition in the state just to practice every day, on both sides of the ball, with offense and defense. Our defense sees the best offense; they get very good looks the whole time, and then come game time, they're prepared for a lot of those looks. So I think that helps us a ton.
Timeout, we drew up a play where Jacob was going to be in the box. He would come out, go off on the near side, and then John would come in the far side, and I'd look and throw them the ball. But then when we ran it and it was worked, John was open, but there was a guy right in my line of sight between John and I, so I would have to loft it over, and I didn't really feel comfortable with that. So then I was kind of like, all right, I'm going to take it down, and then I was like, well, there's only 6 or 5 seconds left, so I'm just going to keep going.
We wanted to have Max just kind of draw the two attackmen and then pop the ball over to John so he could slowly run it over so we could take as much time off, but I think Max had different plans. But, I mean, it was a good play. He definitely did a good job to push it through and bring it past a bunch of people.
How I was able to get out of that, but it kind of just I just stepped back stepped back, and they weren't on me anymore. So I think then I was just like, all right, I got this now. But at that point when they were all collapsing, I was like, oh well, this is a good try.
I couldn't believe that he got the shot off. it was like one of those shots that it was too perfect. It timed up perfectly. There's nothing left on the clock. I don't know what to tell you on that one. It was just a freakishly awesome play.
Probably looking back at the footage, I don't know how it went in. I don't know how I kept the ball. It was probably a stupid play, but I mean it worked, and it was a really cool feeling. So.
I felt like we were doing great with our one-on-one matchups. I was a little surprised that we were up by that much, but Het let us know they're a team that does great with, I guess, running in transition. They always go on a big run, so we were not surprised when they came back. I'd say for a fact, we definitely weren't surprised.
Come back and it was going to be a bruiser of a game that we had to grind through, but I think what happened was we were so excited to push transition and kind of get those quick fast break goals that we made big mistakes, and we threw the ball away or we threw a bad pass and it was dumped on the crease or we forced it. But I mean, there's no real way to plan for them to make a comeback. The other team's gonna do it or not. But we stuck it out and we finished the game well, I think.
We expected a run, but not like that. But when you can't win face-offs, or when you're definitely struggling with face-offs, things like that definitely will happen because we didn't have the ball. So when they have the ball for a long period of time, what do you expect? They're going to definitely score.
And that's something I think that's important to know is, even if they came back from being down by 10, we were still up, and that's the big thing that you just have to keep reinforcing is we're still up. It's right now it's okay, I guess you can say, to make mistakes as long as you're doing them going 100% all the way through them, but just relax. That's the only thing you can do.
kind of just rolled the punches there for a little bit. They stunk it. They brought it to a 1-goal game, which is very impressive by them. I don't know. It was good to be in one of those games. We thought we handled it pretty well. I mean, offensive production wasn't there the whole time in the second half, but we battled through and got the wins.
Trying to relax and understand that like the energy's not with us at that spot, and like we're not they're going on a run, so we just have to weather the storm and handle that, and then try and make that as short as possible, and just try and keep everybody focused on what we need to do, and keep to execute the game plan as we keep going.
Stay on it!
We reminded basic fundamentals. Let's break down. Don't get beat one-on-one. If we don't get beat one-on-one, then it's going to be very difficult for them to draw a slide and get an easy goal. Right? Make them make a play. Maintain good discipline. Know the hands of the ball carriers. Right? We have a scouting report. We know what hands all the guys are, where they want to go. Communicate. Right? There's only so many things they can do. They can come and set a pick. They can set off-ball picks. Communicate through those things and talk. And so at that point, it was more just a matter of taking a deep breath, making sure that everybody's head was where it needed to be, and that we were communicating as a defense together there.
Since we've seen how we've finished out games in the last few seconds, they're gonna give it to their best guy, and he's gonna dodge. And as a defender, that's when you really gotta lock it in. And as a whole team, we gotta stay up on each other. We can't be putting each other down for a bad play in the beginning of the game or a bad play throughout after halftime or something. But at that point, we really just got to stay tight on defense and kind of pack it in, because in the last few seconds, they're going to get a shot either way.
It happened in the Westwood game too. Let's make a play. Let's not sit back and allow them to dictate it, right? And I think, Alex and Max did that again. They took it to Cole. They put the ball in Cole's stick, and you're going to put it in your best player's stick. And so they came out and played aggressively against him and forced him into a shot that I think he would have rather taken maybe a couple steps higher. But to our guys' defensive credit, they forced Cole into a shot that probably he would have liked to take from a better angle.
I can't remember exactly who shot. I think it was probably Cole, but I don't know. I was pretty focused on helping in on defense. If it can't, I was the backside guy, so if it really did come to it, I'd have to come across crease and slide to him. But I was pretty focused on helping the two backside guys, and keying on my man. So I had full confidence in Max and Alex on that play to kind of disrupt the play and for Avery to make a big save. Got to stay positive in those situations.
Definitely nerve-wracking, but I have so much trust and so much faith in my defense that I expected them to finish the game.
So I was on number 2, Culver Arms. We knew he was going to take the final dodge, and he kind of pulled it out into the corner and took a little bit of time off the clock, and then he came behind the net and faked like he was going to his right and took it to his left and kind of posted up within his left hand. And he's a righty, so I had a feeling he was going to roll back, so I just played that right side, and he rolled and it just shot right off of he shot it and it went off the net.
Jackie, come on, let's go, boys! Push it! Come on, Portsmouth!
From the left behind the net to try and dunk it. And I was fortunate enough I got a piece of it. I'm not sure if Het recorded it as a save, but I got a piece of it and it went out behind the net and just held it there. I knew that, and everyone was like, throw it down the field, throw it down the field. I was like, just relax. We have the ball now. There's 4 seconds left. I'm in the crease. It's fine. And I think that it was a cool moment, though. It was a cool moment because I realized, I had the ball and that was it. There was nothing the other team could do.
I think it's great to be in close games and to know that we can weather the storm and see it through. It definitely feels good. It also is kind of bitter because we let them get back in the game. So it's just figuring out and learning from what went wrong, and also what went right, because there's a lot of things in that game that went right. So just figure out all the different parts and pieces. And for me, I love to watch the film and see what's going on, and because I think you get a different perspective than when you do in the game. So just working on stuff like that.
We learned a valuable lesson. We can't do that. We can't give good teams second chance opportunities there, where in the first half we weren't doing that. We have a lot of confidence in our defense. We have a lot of confidence in Avery in the net, and we're just confident that even if we're losing faceoffs, we're going to get in, play good defense, cause turnovers, and we'll push it and go the other way and let our offense do its thing once we get it.
It's a huge confidence booster, knowing that we're, in my eyes, the top 2 teams, that we were able to hold them off and finish the game strong. Wasn't the way we wanted it to go, but I'm just happy that we won. I feel like everybody knows that we can, I guess, at least finish games.